And senior scholar at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, Dr. Amish Adalja. Doctor, thanks so much for being with us. So let's just back up for a quick second here. What is Eastern Equine Encephalitis, or EEE, and how does it kill somebody? I mean, those stats, 30, 40%, they sound terrifying. Why is an alarm being raised now?
Well, this is a virus that's been around for decades, and every year it causes about a dozen cases of infection in the United States. And what's characteristic about it is that if you get sick with it, 30 to 40% of those individuals are going to go on and die. And they die because this infects their brain. That's what the word encephalitis means. And those who survive are often left with major disability. So anytime this appears in a given area, there's a lot of alarm bells that ring. There's a lot of mitigation efforts that get put into place in terms of trying to control mosquito populations, and a lot of public awareness, because this is an infection you do not want to get.
Oh, it sounds so terrifying. And we've got EEE and West Nile circulating in different parts of the United States. The United States is huge, right? But like, I have a ton of mosquito bites on my legs right now, and you watch this and you're like, okay, we're out here in California, but realistically, like, can all of this travel from state to state?
Yes, because mosquitoes can travel from state to state, and the mosquitoes that cause these infections aren't just restricted to one state. They don't really stop at a state border. They don't stop at national borders. So there are many parts of the United States that are prone for certain mosquito disease. Now, there are different mosquitoes that transmit West Nile versus Eastern Equine. Eastern Equine tends to be the New England states or some of the states that are on the Gulf Coast. But West Nile is basically endemic in all of the 48 lower states. So this is something that everybody has to think about, and it's the mosquitoes that can be anywhere and can bite anybody, but most people, it's important to remember, aren't going to get sick. It's a small percentage that gets sick after the mosquito bite, but those who do get sick with West Nile or with Eastern Equine can have a serious outcome.
And with EEE, is there a possibility that this becomes endemic across the country?
Probably not, because it's really restricted to where the requisite mosquitoes are, and Eastern Equine is a virus that has a cycle between birds and mosquitoes, so it really stays in those kind of states. We don't really see that spread. There are other encephalitis viruses on the West Coast, like there's a whole bunch of California encephalitis viruses, including Western Equine encephalitis. So they're each kind of part of the country has different encephalitis viruses related to the mosquitoes and the birds that are their natural reservoir.
Great. That is terrifying news. And then, you know, when we talk about remediation, you know, you see some of the spraying that's going on in New York and Massachusetts, and anytime you see like these clouds being sprayed, you got to wonder, like, how effective is it? And then are there any risks from the spraying itself, like with the video that we're seeing right there?
There are no major risks to humans from that spraying. Some of that spraying is going to have an impact in killing mosquitoes, but what really works is going into areas where there's standing water. So that could mean the sandbox in your yard or the bird bath, and making sure you don't have breeding sites on your own property or in your community. That's what really makes a difference when it comes to controlling mosquito populations. And the other point is that these vector control activities cost money, and oftentimes municipalities, states, they don't really fund their vector control programs very robustly, and then you kind of get these kind of boom and bust cycles where they need resources there and they don't necessarily have them. So I think that's also one of the lessons, is we have to be vigilant about mosquito-borne illnesses all the time.
Doctor, I will be on the hunt for any standing water at my house as soon as I get home tonight. Can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Thanks.
And don't go anywhere. We are just getting started. Up next, a hostage held in Gaza is freed after